I feel like I should explain the story behind this island. So I moved into my house October 2020, and when I moved here, the kitchen, it had such an awkward layout. Like there was just this huge open space, and it was so weird. If I have a clip, I will try to put it up here. And then I only had 2 drawers in my kitchen, and that was it. And if you know me at all, you know I do a lot of cooking, and I also run a business, and half of that is out of my kitchen because I use a lot of kitchen supplies to make my products. So obviously that was not going to work for me. So I got this idea to create this entire island. So basically we built the island. The cabinet parts are all from IKEA. I picked out 4 separate cabinets, and they all have the same base measurements. I think they were like 30 by 30, so I just put them in a big square. And for the top, it took me a really long time to figure out what I wanted to do for the top. I didn't want to do butcher block. I couldn't really afford to buy new countertops. So I sat on it for a really long time. And then out of nowhere, my dad offered me up this wood that he, I guess, realized had been in his garage for 20 plus years. And it was beautiful wood. And I don't know if I have a picture of what it looked like originally, but I will try to post that as well. So I put the wood on top of the table. We cut it all down to the correct sizes. My dad fixed. So like there are certain parts that overhang. So like right where I'm sitting, there is an overhang. So I think the cabinets end about here, and then there's this much overhang so that we can sit underneath it and eat. And then the same goes for this side as well. There are chairs lining this side so that people can eat on that side as well. So it kind of serves as our dinner table, along with having the cabinets for storage. So my dad built in these metal bracket things that support it. So for a really long time, the wood just laid on top of the island, and that was it. They weren't connected to each other. It wasn't finished. And because it wasn't finished, I had covered it with a plastic sheet, and it stayed like that for probably a year. And then after a year, we decided that we should probably work on it. So we started connecting the boards together, and I have a bunch of footage from that, which I will put in a minute. That went really well. We connected all the boards together in the order that I wanted to. We trimmed up the edges. I think I did some light sanding, but then I couldn't figure out how to finish it. And my main thing was that I wanted to preserve the look of the wood, and I didn't want it to be shiny, but obviously I still needed it to be protected because I use a lot of oils and essential oils in my products, and just general cooking and eating. I didn't want to ruin the wood, so I needed it to be protected, but I didn't want it to be shiny. So then again, it sat with plastic on it for probably a good several months. I did a ton of research. I did so much research, and I think at some point I had come up with this idea that I wanted to seal it with wax. And I tried to create this oil wax blend at home because I got impatient and I thought it was gonna be okay. And when I put it on, it made the wood so orange and dark, and I hated it, and I freaked out because it was oil and wax, and I thought it was gonna like leach into the wood. I think I panic called my mother in the middle of the night, and I ended up just sanding it down. Like I sanded it down probably like 1/8 of an inch. I managed to get all the oil and wax off. However, I basically had stripped the wood of all of its natural like aged beauty, and it was better than before, but it still had so many orange and red tones to it, and it was like much brighter than it was before, and I was just so devastated. I felt like I had ruined the table. I mean, I had kind of saved it from what I had done with the oil and wax, but I was devastated. I don't know, it just, I get really sentimental, and it was really important to me to like preserve this wood that had been in my dad's garage and forgotten about for 20 years, and then he gave it to me to create this island, and I got really emotional about it. So then I was too afraid to do anything for like another 8 months probably, and I really didn't even try to come up with a solution for it. I didn't really want to touch it. I didn't really want to think about it. I covered it up with the plastic again, and that way it stayed. I talked to my mom on and off about it. She used to have her own business. She used to be a faux painter, and I was trying to get her input on it. I did a lot of testing because at one point I started to dip my toes back into this whole project, and I didn't know if I wanted to go lighter and do like a whitewash or if I wanted to go darker and do like a stain. So there was a lot of back and forth, and then in the end I ended up finding this stuff called aged wood accelerant. It's not really a stain. It's almost kind of like the steel wool and vinegar, except not as intense, and I ended up really liking it. So with the help of my mother, we kind of experimented with it, and then I trusted my mom with finding a way to seal it. My mother found this spray lacquer that goes on pretty much matte, and she had used it on my brother's table that she had redone, and I just completely trusted her. So in the end, we did the aged wood accelerant and we did this spray lacquer, and I think it turned out pretty great. So 2 years of work, this is where we ended up. It's holding up pretty well. I think it's definitely like getting some wear to it, which I want. I definitely want to wear it down a little bit and just make it look a little loved and maybe get it back to the way that it used to look, but as long as I can do what I need to do on it and it looks beautiful, I'm okay with that. So, well, that was the longest intro ever. So I'm gonna show the footage from a year ago when we connected all the boards together, and then we'll skip forward to whenever my mother came and helped me finally do the aged wood accelerant and seal it for good. All right, today's the day, or one of the days, that I'm going to be working on this island top. Right now it's covered in plastic, but it's really pretty underneath. It just needs to be finished. We actually built this island. The cabinets are from IKEA. I love them so much. These are like all my herbs. And the wood, for a really long time, we didn't know what to do with the top, but the wood my dad found in his garage, and it had been in his garage for over 20 years, and it's really beautiful wood. I don't know if you can tell, the edges are more rustic, worn in looking, and the top is a little bit newer looking. I don't quite like it as much. It's a little bit more yellow, orange, red than I would like. So I put this plastic on it, and it's been like this for almost 2 years now. What we have to do now, me and my father, so it's in two pieces, this piece and then that piece. We have to join the two halves together, and then on this edge it's uneven, so we're gonna have to cut this in to make it all even, and then once that's done we will be able to put it back up here until my mother can get here and help me finish it and make it look the way that I want it to. Whoa. I said whoa. I haven't seen it uncovered like this in like a year. So this is the back of it. It was so pretty. Wow.
You know, that's our depth set, and that's where we set it last time. So when we drill it, it goes down like that, and I just want to make sure we weren't going too deep.
The thing about the lacquer, you have to do it out in the garage. We'll have to set something up so you'll be without a countertop for a while. And you can't let it get too cold. Your garage is pretty warm. You can put on another coat every 2 hours. You can get about 5 coats a day, but I would definitely spend 3 days lacquering it.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, it only takes a few minutes.
Right. Oh my gosh. Baby. I hope this video was useful to anybody that's trying to get the same look I was going for, or just learning how to create a tabletop. I don't know what kind of wood it is. I don't think my dad knows either, because like I said earlier, he bought it 20 plus years ago and it had just been sitting in his garage, so I'm no help there. But if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching.